Welcome back to AG Chelsea TV. Join us to find out the latest news about Chelsea in the past 24 hours. Please subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss daily news about Chelsea, and we'll start right now. Graham Potter on January transfers which saw him sacked. Graham Potter was on Monday Night Football last night, where they discussed his time as Chelsea manager, especially the final few months. After arriving in September, Potter did pretty well until Christmas time, where things turned sour. When January arrived, a £300 million spending spree put him in an even more difficult position, with a host of new young players not adapted to the league or the team, and unhappy senior players already at the club knowing their time was up. I tried to explain, he said, of his contact with the owners who had committed to this spending, claiming that he'd done his best to inform them of the pitfalls of such a sudden and heavy investment.
No, I was there to try and to support, really. The owners decided the squad, and they made the decision to invest in the team. I obviously tried to explain the pros and cons of it, in terms of January can be an expensive time to buy players because you can sort of overpay. It's not a guarantee that you're going to actually improve at that time, because the players that you can see there, it's not Harry Kane, it's not Declan Rice, it's not proven Premier League players. They're young players coming from maybe different leagues, maybe with a close winter break, for example, so to get up to speed.
He wasn't able to get his message across. The struggles of so many new players arriving damaged results further, and Potter, despite his warnings, was soon sacked. Monster £83 million price, but Chelsea could still be tempted as squad settles down. Chelsea have already secured the most hyped player in Brazil in the form of Estevão Willian, but his Palmeiras teammate Reece is also potentially a player the Blues are interested in. The Athletic claim that Chelsea are very interested in the defender, although so are Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool and almost every other major team. He looks like a class player. After making his debut in June, he's already picked up 15 appearances and is making an impact on the first team already. But there's one massive issue: his vast £83 million release clause. There's no way we'd be expected to pay that much, but it's a sure sign of how highly Palmeiras rate him, and an indicator of how tightly locked up they've got him at the moment. Unless we're willing to wait for his contract to run down, we're going to have to pay up. After some incredibly busy windows, Chelsea finally look to be in a position where they can calm things down now. They've got depth across the board, and while there are still some players who need to be loaned or sold, it's not longer the madness of January 2023. It always feels a lot more comfortable when your team is looking to just tweak one or two positions in each window, and with any luck the Blues have reached that stage now. That makes it a lot easier to do your due diligence on each target, and also to afford potential premium options like Reece. Maresca abandons tactical revolution before season even starts, and watches it pay off. We try to hold off on too much stats chat until the league has developed a little, but we're now 6 games deep, meaning 15% of the season is already gone, and we're getting into statistical significance. Most teams have played a couple of good teams and a couple of bad teams, and had a pretty even split of home and away. So where are Chelsea ranking? Well, against their peers. After their result at the weekend, they're up to 4th, so they're doing something right. They top the goals scored chart with 15, something we love to see after the struggles of the last couple of years. What's even more impressive is our efficiency. We're only 11th in terms of shots taken, showing how we're getting into dangerous positions and making it count every time. The numbers also show we've scored 3 counter-attack goals, second only to Spurs in the league. That's very different to the slow-paced, possession football we were told to expect from the new Pep Enzo Maresca. We can't say we're unhappy about it either. In fact, we're only 6th in terms of possession in the whole league, and a full 10% behind Man City at that. It's clear that Maresca has very sensibly adapted what he might have been planning to accommodate the players he has. That's a huge relief. One of our major concerns about his appointment was that his style didn't seem to match what he had in the squad. But it didn't take him long to realize that, and now we're playing much as we expected we would under Mauricio Pochettino last season: fast, direct and deadly counter-attacking football. There are tougher tests to come against both strong teams and weaker teams who will sit deep, but it's certainly a case of so far, so good. Transfer decision questioned after Starlet goes to next level. There's a new debate going around at the moment. Did Man City make a mistake selling Cole Palmer? One would think the answer is obviously yes, because he's so good. But there's a counter-argument that he never would have been this good had he stayed, so it's not as egregious a whiff as it seemed at first. Rory Smith was on 5 Live's Monday Night Club yesterday, where of course the focus was on Palmer after his 4 goals at the weekend. The journalist tried to figure out why Pep Guardiola had been happy to let the attacker leave. It is strange that Pep Guardiola thought he was not going to play at City, but maybe that is because he was not willing to center the team around him like Enzo Maresca is. City probably should be thinking they have made a mistake. For Chelsea fans, this debate is an enjoyable one. We don't care whether City made a mistake or not. We just get to keep Cole and watch him thriving. Frankly, for the footballing world in general, it's far better to have the Wythenshawe wizard playing for us, even through last year's chaos. He's able to do pretty much whatever he likes, be the star of the team and play every week. Compare that to his old teammate Phil Foden or the other bright talents who end up cogs in the Guardiola machine. Yes, they retire with a boatload of medals, but for the footballing public at large it's a disappointment. The fun and creativity is sucked out of them, and they're certainly not allowed to just take a touch and shoot every time they get the ball when they feel like it. Removing that from Palmer's game wouldn't just be bad for Palmer, it would be bad for football. Chelsea huge fans of the outstanding £70 million CB. It's been claimed in fresh reports this week that the Blues recruitment team really likes a talented young defender. We're intrigued to hear Enzo Maresca's side continue to be linked with more potential defensive additions for the squad, according to well-respected journalist Simon Phillips via his Substack on Tuesday. Chelsea do really appreciate Nottingham Forest's Murillo. It is explained that the Blues recruitment team like the 22-year-old Forest defender, who's someone that they inquired about in the most recent summer window. He was deemed too expensive for them, though. Phillips adds that Chelsea could well go back in for the Brazilian centre-back in the next couple of windows because he's still high on their short list of targets in the central defensive position. The Guardian reported in the summer that Forest rated Murillo at £70 million, but will that valuation rise if he continues to impress at the City ground? We equally massively rate Murillo's quality and potential as a footballer. He was a defensive rock during his debut year in English football last term. Jamie Carragher described Murillo as outstanding last season via Monday Night Football. Also, he's played every minute of the Premier League so far this season in the Forest 11. He's a left-footed centre-back with fantastic ball-playing qualities and confidence in possession. In addition, he's got the physical attributes to really suit playing in England's top division. We're quite content with Levi Colwill emerging as Chelsea's main starter as the left-sided centre-back this season. Is Benoit Badiashile good enough as his understudy, or does the club need to bring in better competition? And that's the final content of today's video. Like, subscribe to support AG Chelsea TV.